Alright guys, so my name is Oba Mike and I teach human anatomy and physiology. So I've decided to share what I discussed in the class with the entire world, and today we're going to discuss body cavities, which are spaces that you have right inside your body. So let's go. So you have two kinds of organs. You have internal organs and external organs. So the external organs are the organs you can actually see. Like right now, you can see my eyes, you can see my nose, you can see my ears, and the rest of them. Then internal organs are the ones that are located right inside your body, like your liver, your brain, your intestines, your kidneys, your adrenal glands, your spleen, your stomach, and the rest of them. So all these organs are internal organs. So because they're internal organs, they need special places where they can stay. They need rooms where they can stay. And these places are your body cavities. Now, the human body has several cavities, but we are just going to discuss five major ones. So these five major ones are the cranial cavity, the vertebral canal, the thoracic cavity, the abdominal cavity, and the pelvic cavity. Now, these cavities can even be reduced into two. The cranial cavity and vertebral canal are more towards the back, so they form the dorsal cavity, while the thoracic cavity, abdominal cavity, and pelvic cavity are more towards the front, so they form the ventral cavity. So briefly, I'm going to tell you what forms these body cavities, the locations of these body cavities, and the content of these body cavities. The cranial cavity is a space in the skull that contains the brain. It's not all part of the skull that contains the brain. So the space in the skull that contains the brain is known as cranial cavity, and it is formed by 8 bones known as cranial bones. The names of the bones that form the cranial cavity, the cranial bones, include one frontal bone, one occipital bone, one ethmoid bone, one sphenoid bone, 2 parietal bones, and 2 temporal bones. The vertebral canal is the longest cavity in the body. It is a space in the vertebral column, commonly known as backbone. So it is formed by 26 bones known as vertebrae or backbones. The vertebral canal has other names, so you can call it spinal canal, you can call it vertebral cavity or spinal cavity, and the content of this vertebral canal is the spinal cord. It also has the beginning or the root of spinal nerves. The 26 bones that form the vertebral canal include 7 cervical vertebrae, 12 thoracic vertebrae, 5 lumbar vertebrae, 1 sacrum, and 1 coccyx. So these are the 26 bones that form the vertebral canal called backbones. The thoracic cavity is a space in the chest. It is the second to the largest cavity in the human body, and it is formed by many structures. You have several bones, cartilages, and muscles. It also contains a lot of organs. Anteriorly or in front, the thoracic cavity is formed by the sternum and costal cartilages. Posteriorly, the thoracic cavity is formed by thoracic vertebrae, 12 thoracic vertebrae. Laterally, the thoracic cavity is formed by ribs and intercostal muscles, which are the muscles that are found between the ribs. Inferiorly, the thoracic cavity is formed by the diaphragm. The thoracic cavity contains a lot of structures. These structures include heart, lung, esophagus, bronchi, trachea, and many blood vessels, many large blood vessels like aorta, superior vena cava, pulmonary artery, and so on. The abdominal cavity is a space in the abdomen. It is a space in the belly. It is the largest and widest cavity in the human body. It contains most of the body organs, especially the digestive organs. Unlike other cavities, the abdominal cavity is formed more by muscles than bones. So it's a soft area. The only bone that forms the abdominal cavity is the lumbar vertebrae posteriorly. So other areas are formed by muscles. Some of the muscles that form the abdominal cavity include the diaphragm, rectus abdominis, transversus abdominis, internal oblique, external oblique, and so on. So these are some of the abdominal muscles. There are several organs in the abdominal cavity, and most of these organs are very large. So some of these organs include liver, stomach, large intestine, small intestine, kidneys, adrenal glands, spleen, and so on. Finally, the pelvic cavity is a space below the abdominal cavity. There's actually no demarcation between them. And this pelvic cavity is formed by 4 bones, which include 2 hip bones, 1 sacrum, and 1 coccyx. Because there's no demarcation, there's no clear demarcation between the abdominal cavity and the pelvic cavity. Sometimes both cavities are collectively known as abdominopelvic cavity. The pelvic cavity contains more of reproductive organs, and this makes the contents a bit distinct between males and females. The male pelvic cavity contains organs such as urinary bladder, urethra, prostate, vas deferens, ejaculatory duct, seminal vesicles, and so on. The female pelvic cavity contains organs such as urinary bladder, urethra, ovaries, fallopian tubes, uterus, cervix, and vagina. My videos are not created for only medical students. If you want to learn more about the human body, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Also, give me a thumbs up if you learned something from this video. Thank you.